How are you today, Mayor?
Doing fine, Joe. How are you?
Well, we're keeping dry in here, which is good.
Yeah, but these storms can be difficult, but boy, we needed the rain. We're way behind on precipitation for the year, so good for the plants going into the winter season.
Definitely, yes. And for all the parks and playgrounds and playing fields, good to give them a little drink, too, for sure.
Definitely, I don't think people understand, but the trees and the shrubs and all, they do a lot of root growth in the fall, and if you don't have much moisture before the winter, then the winter winds, the cold really does the job on the plants. A lot of them show their demise the next season. They really don't show it right away. So this is good rain.
Yeah. How is speaking of trees, the Heritage Tree Program coming along this year?
It's going well. It's we're behind where we want it to be, honestly, but things take time. So we'll just roll right into the 250th this coming year. So similar theme, celebrating great nations. So a couple of them may be dedicated this fall. The others probably next spring.
Okay, very good. Also, we should note the anniversary of the U.S. Navy back on Friday. Ceremony held out at Marina Bay.
Yeah, beautiful day for it. They know they had the tent just in case. Could have done without the tent. Beautiful day. And of course, former Lieutenant Commander Alicia Pang, who's now with the Park Service, did an outstanding job. As did Bob Damon, our Heritage Director, historian, knows his stuff and his stats. So it was nice. It was nicely attended. A lot of Navy people, number of colleagues in government, but it's important we do these things. It's you look back at that period in our country's history, World War II era, when the Naval Air Station was active in Squantum, and you look at not only the men and women that served directly in the military, but the men and women that served in the shipyards and those operations that supplemented the shipyard with goods and materials, pretty powerful to the economy, and obviously the work that a lot of them were immigrants did for the shipbuilding industry, helped win the war. I mean, you don't want to get into the World War II too much, Joe, but at the end of the day, it was the United States that turned their industrial might into a war machine, and whether it was Russia, Britain, or U.S. troops, they were using equipment built in this country by our citizens. So good history, and we should remember that stuff.
Yeah, speaking of equipment, one of them is still on display at the shipyard. The USS Salem had a great weekend, I understand. They were open both Saturday, Sunday, and had a huge turnout.
Yeah, Margaret was telling me that. She works hard on that with her volunteers. It is a pretty unique vessel in that everything is still in there, which was very unusual when ships were granted to folks. They usually strip everything out of it, but a lot of cool stuff in there, and a number of great collections in there, and uniforms and swords and all kinds of weaponry and things. And people have given and donated to be on display in the museum. So it's a good take. If you haven't been there, check it out.
Truly, yeah, it's truly a living museum for sure. Mayor, as you're well aware, the City Council extended an invitation to you to speak this coming Monday night regarding the city's debt. Will you accept that invitation, first of all?
Absolutely. Due respect to the City Council and their role, I'm glad to go and attend. And I know that the debt has been raised during this campaign season by a number of candidates, and it's easy to just throw a number out there without an explanation. When you talk about you break down the debt, it makes perfect sense. We're well within our limits, and I'll have a story to tell Monday night, and it'll be all facts. People can interpret it as they wish, as they usually do, but it will be very factual and a very open discussion. I'll have some of the team from Municipal Finance there with me as well, and we'll lay it all out, what we were facing and what we did to dealing with those things, particularly the retirement issue at the time. And then, of course, all we're doing with that money. I mean, I've get into this issue before, Joe, in elections prior, and everyone says he spends too much money. But when you push back and say, what shouldn't we spend it on, nobody gives me an answer. So, yes, we're building schools and seawalls, public safety headquarters. We're building new parks. We're building firehouses. I mean, tell me what we shouldn't spend it on. So I think it's a good story. We'll talk about it Monday night, and certainly open to any and all questions the council may have.
What do you make of the S&P lowering the bond rating for the city?
Well, they lowered the outlook. But if you look at what we did in the marketplace, we actually did better the last round of borrowing, because in the marketplace, those people that are in the marketplace know Quincy. We're in the marketplace frequently. We do refinancing frequently, and they know us. And so it has had no effect in reality. We're up there as far as debt service goes. People are interested in buying our debt, holding our debt, because we're a solid community. What the S&P is concerned about is the lack of reserves, and it's an interesting point. I always push back, saying, "Look, in the case of an emergency, I've got excess levy capacity. In other words, we're not at the tax limit. If something should happen, I could go up higher on the taxes without a 2.5 override to deal with it." So it depends on how you look at these things. I mean, I don't think the people elected me to build up our savings account. I think they elected me to get things done, and that's what we're doing. So it's a different way of looking at things. But we still have a solid rating, and the marketplace is showing that.
What is the current status of the reserve fund, if you will, or free,
I'll get into all that Monday night.
Okay.
I mean, we're in that transitional time of the year when we close the books and get our free cash number, get it certified by the state,
Right.
And then the other important issue is not just what's in reserve; it's what our liquidity is. So we have very strong liquidity. We're able to pay our bills on a regular basis without an issue. But it looks good into that Monday night.
Okay, very good. And so going forward then, for the incoming tax rate, is there any indication as to what that will look like right now?
No, I don't have that off the top of my head, Joe. We'll be doing those numbers very soon. John
Right.
Rowland, Paul Delabarbera, if those teams get together and work it. So I haven't had any preview on that yet.
Okay.
Some of that is dependent on what a new growth number is. I know they're still calculating that as well.
Sure. Will you have your financial team with you on Monday night as well?
Yeah, as I mentioned, Rick Kosha, who's
Yep.
my asset manager, and Paul Delabarbera, the director of municipal finance. He took Eric's slot. We'll both be there to take questions as well.
Okay. And will that presentation be available to the public later on?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you guys show it.
Oh,
so,
we'll have it here. Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about that. I do, as you know, I do a lot of stuff off the cuff, so I don't know if we'll have a formal presentation.
Okay. All right. Very good. For Quincy 400 going forward, Mayor, what's next?
I don't know. You probably know better than I am. I know we got the author Dennis Lehane coming up.
Yes.
I think it's filled though. It's not sold. So I guess sold out's the term, but the tickets are free.
That's right.
Within I don't know, like 10 minutes or something.
Yes.
400 seats gone like that. So people have been paying attention to this and they've really been tuned in. So now we're really gearing up for the Christmas season. As you know, that's a big deal on the Hancock Adams Common and throughout our business districts. And I know the families love that. I mean, as you know, they come by the hundreds and thousands to see it, to enjoy it. I said it before, but the world's a little crazy. So to have things like this for our families, I think it's huge. They enjoy it, takes their mind off of some of the challenges in life, and in some cases, even the adults, it brings you back to childhood. Some great memories. So we're already beginning to put the lights up around the city.
Wow.
And I know people squawk, "Why so early?" Well, you can't do it all in a week, before. So we do so much of it. We're well underway now, putting up. Well, they'll take a break today because of the weather, but back at it tomorrow.
Yes, the parade steps off noon Sunday, November 30th, and the theme this year, Historic Quincy Celebrates Christmas. And I'm assuming some of the floats that we saw on Flag Day will make a reappearance.
That's my guess. Maybe a little touch to it, but yes.
We don't want to give away too much.
All right.
Thanks so much, Mayor.
Thanks, Joe.
Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.